Happy Death Day was directed by Christopher B. Landon and stars Jessica Rothe as Tree, a girl who is easily known as that preppy, bitchy girl that we all know in high school or college. And her life is cut pretty short because there's a man wearing a baby mask who kills her, and then she wakes up the next day and has to relive it all again. So we've seen movies like this before with Groundhog Day, and that's pretty much what this movie is. It's a horror-style version of Groundhog Day. Now, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. I was expecting it to be a bit worse, but oddly enough, it was an okay movie. Blumhouse Productions helped create this movie, and they're known for Paranormal Activity and The Purge and just making movies with small budgets and getting a bunch out of it. And so they helped create this movie, which I think was a absolutely good job on their part. They knew exactly what they needed to do for this movie. Now, everything in this movie starts off strong. It's very horror-filled, it's very suspenseful. It starts off as your normal basic horror movie. But then once we get halfway through, it gets kind of ridiculous. Not as ridiculous as in, like, horror ridiculous. Like, there's just a lot of comedy. They just don't take themselves seriously. And that's all fine because, you know, this movie kind of needs some comedy thrown into it, which is fine. But it just seems like for a movie like this, there shouldn't be as much comedy, per se. But that's just me, I think. Now, this movie is very repetitive, obviously, because it's repeating the same day over and over again. But it's not repetitive in the form of that. It's repetitive in the form of they obviously have to go through every day and such to make sure she survives. She has to go through every day. That's the repetitive part about it. But what's also repetitive about this is not only does it follow some of the comedy horror tropes to it, but it repeats that same one over and over again. And that was something that I noticed, but it was fine. It wasn't something that was super bad and needed to be addressed, but it was still there. And the movie had good acting in it. The writing was decent. The acting was actually really good. Jessica Rothe took her role very seriously with this. She wasn't like trying to not care about her role in this movie. She played the part of Tree very, very well, and that was good. There was a good moral of this movie, like a good moral to the story, oddly enough. There was a big plot twist, though, that I wasn't expecting, my wife wasn't expecting in this movie. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but the reason for that plot twist is very odd. Like, it seemed like it shouldn't have fit in the movie like this. But it is what it is. They reference Groundhog Day in this movie, oddly enough, which is very funny because, again, it's like a Groundhog Day movie with horror and killing and all that wonderful stuff. The cinematography I thought was very well done as well. Again, because Blumhouse Productions helped with this movie. The directing by Christopher B. Landon was really well done because he's the one that gave us Disturbia. So the matter of the director for Disturbia and then Blumhouse working together, I think, kind of helped create this movie very well with, again, some of the minor stuff. But I think this movie was created very well. I'm giving Happy Death Day a B. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. I do appreciate it. I'm sorry I've been away for a while. I'm glad to be back. I'm excited to do Happy Death Day today. I'm super excited to do Jigsaw next week, which will be my next review. Spoiler alert. But yeah, Jigsaw is going to be my next review, and then I'll be starting my Star Wars, not trilogy, my Star Wars saga with Jim. We're going to go through all of them before episode 8, so that'll be fun. And thank you again. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, this is Pop Culture Critics signing off.